Hey guys, I am glad that you are watching this video. I hope everybody in class watches it. I am going to give some information in class, but probably not to the extent that I'm going to give in this video. So hopefully everyone watches it. I would like for all of you to notice that I have included some doom and gloom stuff on here because I want you just to be terrified. No, really. You need to calm down about the 6 weeks test. If you're freaking out, please don't freak out. It is not going to be that hard. As a matter of fact, I have even included it and given you all the options I've given you with it, which you'll find out about here shortly, so that you will make an even better test grade. For my remote learners, in case you don't know, I am dropping your lowest test grade for the 6 weeks, and I am also dropping your lowest quiz grade. So stay tuned, and hopefully this will help you understand what's expected of you for the 6 weeks test and know what to study. So two things that you will see on this test, it's basically divided into two parts. You will have the first section that is grammar, revise and edit, and the second section that is a 451 reading selection, which we will talk about in just a second. The grammar or revise and edit has all been touched on. There is nothing in this section that you will not have seen in class, or for my remote learners that you will not have seen in the bell ringers or in the videos that I have posted for you. Now, I will say that there are some smaller details such as apostrophes and I'm trying to think of another one besides apostrophes. Got a pause of capitalization that is in the bell ringer and that you have to identify within the bell ringer, but you may not have had a full video on it if you are a remote learner. If you see something in this upcoming grammar list that you don't feel confident about, please seek that knowledge out. We will talk more about that as this video goes along, but look up how to do it. Look up those rules. They are there for you online and readily available. The second section of your test is the 451 reading selection. You will be provided with the reading selection before the test. It is actually in the same folder that you're watching this video in. So please make sure that you go and access that. Please annotate it, go through all that stuff to be ready. All right, you guys, let's keep going. So this is the list of the grammar and revise and edit information or aspects that you will see on the test and that you will be tested over. Complex and compound sentences will be major, so will appositives, also major. Make sure that you know what those are for both in-class and remote learners. Y'all have been very well versed on those, as they have been introductory bell ringers and then of course continuous practice with them throughout. I've also posted videos on all three of those things that will help you. We've gone over semicolon use, capitalization, apostrophe use, comma usage with a list or descriptions, verb tense, conjunctive adverbs, which I typically refer to as introductory words or phrases because conjunctive adverbs is such a almost convoluted type of term. This is words like clearly, therefore, however. If they're at the beginning of the sentence, you have a comma at the end. If they're in the middle of the sentence, you have a comma on both sides. And then last but not least, correct pronoun usage. I will tell you for numbers 4 through 10, if you don't feel sure in your capabilities, you are more than welcome to come to tutorials and I will help you there. Or for remote learners or kids who don't necessarily feel tutorials is that needed, they just need a little extra help, I highly recommend simply Googling them. Most, if not all, really all, grammatical things or grammatical rules can be found on Google. All of these grammar rules have videos on them on YouTube. So if you feel you need more help and you don't want to do the tutorial thing, or you are a remote learner, I highly suggest that you do that before you take the test. Take notes over them. Include your notes on your 451 selection or at the end of it, if you're an in-class person and if you're a remote person, take notes over them and just look through them as you take the test. And that will help you get through. The reading part of the test is Fahrenheit 451, and there is a selection taken from the overall reading. I have placed the specific selection in the 6 weeks test folder, so it is there for you to access. You are not required to print the selection, but I highly recommend that you print it, and I do mean highly. A lot of the questions on the test ask you, like, what happens in this paragraph, what happens in that paragraph. I will say, if you don't print it, you need to go in and look at the selection and number your PDF that you should have already printed, number your PDF to, or your book, whichever you have, to match the reading numbers or the paragraph numbers in the selection so that you don't get confused when you're answering questions, because a lot of the questions say, what does the symbolism in paragraph 9 mean, so on and so forth. With the reading selection, the main thing that you need to do is read through it and annotate it. Take notes over it, make sure you understand it, make sure you have a general idea or concept of the following things as you go through and read it. Pay attention to symbolism. Symbolism in the selection that could represent something else. Characterization, the idea of how the character is described, what the character thinks, what the character feels, what other people say about the character, all to let us know the type of person, per se, that the character is. And then, of course, last but not least, theme. Any thematic messages that you get. As we were going through and we're getting ready for the essays, we made in class a list of various subjects that you could see. When you start seeing those subjects pop out at you, things like war, love, devotion, censorship, destruction, knowledge, power, control. When you start seeing those things jump out at you from the text, make a note. What is Bradbury trying to tell you about those subjects? Go through, annotate, use it, both in class and out of class. Both of you guys can use it, so please make sure you do that. And that's it, guys. That really is all there is to the test. 2 sections, one a grammar revise and edit section, one a short selection from your story that or your book that you should have already read. Don't stress. Take notes all the way around. Take notes on your grammar, take notes on your 451 selection. Pay attention to those particular devices that I just mentioned in the previous slide and that we have focused on in class with our short answers and our discussions. Prepare yourself for the time limit. Both in class and out of class, you have a time limit. And for both of you guys, it's approximately 2 hours, give or take. Yeah, 50 minutes each class day. Study. Please study. Study your grammar notes. Make sure that you understand what symbolism is, that you understand what characterization is. Anything like that that you are confused about, let me know, or be a problem solver and seek out those answers, which basically that is my last point here. Problem solve. Seek out knowledge. You know, there's an old saying that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I can give you all this information. I can talk to you about what's going to be on the test. I can talk to you about the different parts of speech or grammatical rules that you're going to see. I can talk to you about the different literary devices that you're going to see. But if you don't take it upon yourself to do something about those devices or to do something about those grammar rules, to learn, to make sure that you understand it, to seek that knowledge out if it's not there already, then I can't make you drink that water. So please, please, please problem solve and seek out that knowledge. All right, guys, so that's really it for this video. It's all I have to tell you about what's going to be on the test, the grammar rules, and the 451 selection. I wish you the best of luck. Please stay calm. It's going to be fine. I do have one last information or piece of advice to share with you guys, and really more so information than piece of advice. And this goes to all my students, but specifically to my remote learners. Please make sure that you do two things. One, pay very close attention to the time limit. Don't let the test close out on you without you being aware that it's about to close out. Two, pay attention to the due date. If you do not get this test turned in by September 24th at midnight, you highly risk making a 0 on a test grade. This is the end of the 6 weeks. This is all she wrote. This is where the fat lady sings. This is the end. So September 25th, my grades are due. I can't submit grades after that, and I may or may not have time to get your grade in at that date. So September 24th, if you don't have it submitted by midnight, I will be putting in an automatic 0. So please make sure that you get those in. And like I said, this is more for my remote learners than my in-class learners, as you will be doing it in class. So your deadline's pretty set in stone. But for a lot of my remote learners, you have been doing stuff late. And I'm not griping at you guys. I've had in-class kids turn in stuff late as well. So I completely understand. But this is where it all stops. This is where, you're going to be eaten by the sharks if you don't start getting your stuff done on time. Not just this 6 weeks test, but from here on out. I will be sending out a letter to all my students, both in class and out of class, about this very soon. And just make sure with this test that you get it done by September 24th at midnight. All right, you guys, I wish you the best of luck, and I will talk to you in the next video.